Hey everyone, welcome to Lauren's Scrapplot. My name is Lauren Urbonith, and this is the Great North American Stamping Show Season 6, Episode 11. Now, every week I have a little competition with some friends, Julie, Jody, and Lisa, and we try to recreate a project from the holiday mini catalog and gain your votes for the projects that we've redesigned. Now, this week I am filming my video a little bit earlier than usual, so I actually don't know who won last week. I'm away in Las Vegas as we speak, as you're watching this, on a Stampin' Up conference. So I hope you guys are having fun. If you want some maybe sneak peeks of stuff that's coming out in the January to April mini catalog, please make sure you are subscribed and following my Lauren Scrapplot YouTube and Facebook pages, because if I get to see anything new, I will be posting photos. I can't promise you what I'm going to see, but I think there'll be some things there, and I might be able to hook up with Lisa and have a fun little catch up with my dear friend. So back to our project. This week we are looking at page 56 and 57 in the holiday mini catalog. There are so many choices here. I could have gone with a fun little background feature stamp. I could have gone full out tags, but what I decided to focus on is this little project in the corner that is a gift for somebody this holiday season. So I've made a gift. It is a little treat box for tea bags, but of course you can stick something else in there. You could stick some little chocolates and whatever you'd like, but I'm going to show you how to make it, and that's where I got my inspiration from. Now, this paper may look new to some of you, and that is because it was actually just released on November 4th. It's called Hobby Haven, and there is a great entire suite that Stampin' Up released that kind of coordinates and complements this set. It does come with a bunch of decals that I'm using a couple of, and then there's a bunch of designer series papers for various hobbies. So we're using the book lovers because that's me, and I'm going to give this to one of my friends who also loves curling up with a cup of tea and reading. You could go to the spa. You could relax in a nice green space. The back sides are very neutral and easy to use. Here's a paper for the sewing lover in your life. There's the back side of that. There's the back side of the book piece. This reminds me of like a spa floor. I feel like it should actually match and go with this one, and you should do an entire spa theme. And then on the back of that one is some great colors. And then we've got some kitchen cooking, and I already used a piece, so that's what I have left. It's for another project, so make sure you're subscribed because I have more projects coming with this guy. But here we go. Here's my little box. It opens up like so, and you can fit 3 tea bags in there. I took one out already to show you, but little tea bag kind of slides right in there, and it's so easy to make. So you can copy the entire project with me using any paper you have at home. I'm going to give you all the measurements and we'll stamp together. And of course, maybe you'll want to order this paper later because it is really cute. I'm going to move this to the side, and we're going to do a bunch of cutting. I want us to get pretty much all our pieces cut, and then we're going to score them and be ready to assemble all together. So this is very bright for some reason. That's better. All right, the base. I chose Lost Lagoon. You could have gone with anything, but I figured, it's very neutral. It kind of ties in here. It works for me. So this piece is going to be 3 inches by 8 3/4. And then while you're at your trimmer, let's do a few score marks here too. So we're going to go at 3 1/8, 3 3/4, 6 7/8, and 7 1/2. So do keep in mind, I've put all these measurements in the description. You can just click pause and go cut everything so you're ready to go. But these sticky notes I find very helpful too. So we've got this piece, it's 3 by 8 3/4, and we've done our 4 score marks. 3 1/8, 3 3/4, 6 7/8, and 7 1/2. Keep this, that's going to be our base. Now we need to make 2 pieces that will be these accordion side panels. Okay, so these are going to be identical to one another. And I do need to say thank you to a demonstrator named Julie Damatio. I saw a tutorial for this like years and years ago. It's been sitting in my archives of like, hey, you need to recreate this fold. So she used a Tutti Frutti package of paper way back when. So thank you to her for the measurements here. So we need 2 identical pieces here. I'm going to move this up so you can see, maybe. It's 3 1/16. So basically just a tiny bit longer than 3 inches by 3 inches. You do just need that little extra to give you some wiggle room in our project, but as close as you can to 3 1/16 by 3 inches. And then on your scoreboard or your trimmer, if you are using the scoring blade, we're going to do a bunch of folds. Basically, it's every 3/8 of an inch, if that helps you, but let's do this together. So 3/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/8, 1 1/2, 1 7/8, 2 1/4, and 2 5/8. Then we will do this once more. We will go through that one more time with your second piece. Make sure this is the 3-inch side on the top. 3/8 of an inch, 3/4, 1 1/8, 1 1/2, 1 7/8, 2 1/4, 2 5/8. Click pause if you haven't gotten those done, okay? It's nothing to stress about. Put that to the side, and we need to cut our little inserts. So these inserts are the dividers. 1, 2, 3. There's actually 4 dividers for our little pouch. Okay, so they're all identical. They are going to be 3 1/16 by 2 7/8. No scoring. You just need 4 of them. 3 1/16 by 2 7/8. Need 4 of those. Then we need some designer series paper. So I decided to go with the Book Lovers. So I've got full piece there, and a little piece here. So these 2 panels, the front and the back, they are identical as well. They're going to be 3 inches by 2 7/8. And just keep in mind, the 2 7/8 is going to be going across your project. So I really suggest cut a 3 by 3 square, just in case you make a mistake with the orientation of your paper in the trimmer. Cut 3 by 3. Then rest this on top here. Make sure this part is facing the right way, and trim this little side down so that it's 2 7/8. So it fits in your spot, but then you don't have any mistakes and you're not going to be sad. So start with 2 3 by 3 squares and then trim it down to a 2 7/8 to fit in here. This one's going to be a little easier to visualize. We are going to have 2 7/8 along the bottom, so whatever way your pattern paper is going, and then it's going to be 1 1/8 tall. That is all your pieces. Now we do have a lot of assembly work to do, so let's begin. We're going to start by moving these out of our way and work on these 2 pieces together. If you have a corner rounder, this is an optional step. You can add a little bit of detail to the top flap of your card. I have an old one. This is from Project Life. You can also grab any sort of circle or oval punch, and it will also give you a rounded edge simply by sticking this into the corner, like so, and trimming. See, there's your rounded edge. So you can use any circle or oval punch that you might have. I'm going to use my corner rounder though, because it's small and simple. Okay, there we go. 1, 2. We're going to round the corners on this small section. You can see there's 2 large ones and 1 small section. 1 and 2. Oh, little. There we go. All right. Now, flat adhesive, we're going to attach this designer series paper into that first section. You can use glue or seal, whatever you prefer. I like to do this before doing all my scoring and folding because it's just easier to line up while it's flat, and I need to move that over a little. Good thing I didn't press down very hard. Wiggle him up a little bit. Might need to breathe on this for a second. There we go. Move that over. Much better. Okay, now you can grab your bone folder. We're going to fold up our box just so we know what it looks like. So of course this is going to be that top flap that comes over top. We're going to build the box like so. Just like that. If you can imagine with me, that is what this box will look like. We'll fill in the insides, but let's finish decorating the front. So your inclination is probably going to be to grab right away one of your pieces of patterned paper and attach it. You can do that. However, if you have access to Amazon, you can order some really, really neat magnets. Mine are 1/8 of an inch millimeter magnets. I just typed in the search box crafting magnets, and then you're looking for something that's 1/8 of a millimeter or even a 1/16. So I'm going to add magnets to my box so that it opens and closes really easily. If you don't have magnets, don't stress. You could use a little Velcro piece, or of course you could tie a ribbon or some twine around this box to keep it closed too. But we don't want to add this yet because we need to add the magnet hiding under our designer paper. Here we go. Magnets that are super sticky. We're going to start by grabbing one magnet and a glue dot or a dot of glue. I'm going to do a glue dot just because glue would take a few minutes to dry. And get that ready and put this first on my lid. I might need to get my take your pick tool to set that. There we go. Okay, put that on my lid. I have one magnet. I actually have two magnets. There's the second one. So one magnet there. Stack the second one so it's ready to go, and put another glue dot on the back. This is so they will land exactly where they need to be. No guessing games on where those are going to end up. With this flap folded down, you should be able to see one large section, those two strips, and your lid. You're going to fold this lid down, and when you lift up, one magnet will stay because it's attached now to the paper, and one is attached to the lid. If you had tried to guess where this magnet would go, you probably would have moved it over a bit, not realizing, oh, that's actually how the box squares away. So we can now hide this second magnet. Nobody will know it's there behind our designer series paper. Again, that was a completely optional step. If you don't have the magnets, you don't need to do that. And it's a very, very small border. These measurements around the edge, not a lot of paper. Okay, so there's so far a little box. On the back here, we're going to add a little bit more designer series paper just to finish decorating. One more piece there. One, two, and three. You might want to just flatten this on your table so you're not wrecking anything. There you go. There's the box base. So fold it up. It looks great, looks adorable. Now it's time to make the accordions. If you don't want to do tea, this is a great box base to put alongside a chocolate bar. I think a caramel would for sure fit. It would be a cute little sleeve. Or you could put like a Rittersport inside. It would kind of hang out, I'm guessing, the sides, but those skinny ones that you can find, it would just hang out the very edge, and it would just be a cute little wrapper. But it's going to be better. We're taking our accordion pieces now, and we're going to fold them back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to make an accordion. Okay, so it doesn't matter which side you start with, but just back and forth, back and forth. And try to get that bone folder in there if you can for nice crisp lines. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so there's one. We're going to do the second one exactly the same at the moment, and then we need to put some adhesive on. Maybe I'll just do the accordion and then come back with my bone folder. This is a lot quicker. Come here. There we go. One. There we go. Two. Okay, so we need to do some adhesive here. So we're going to spread these out side by side. What we do to one is going to be the exact same for the other. So I would love to see 3 popped up mountains in your fold at the moment. If you have this turned over and it was 4, we're putting adhesive on the wrong side. Okay, so 3 popped up mountains, and then we're going to start just with one at a time. On the left hand side, we're going to put 1 strip of adhesive in the first block. Then we're going to put a second strip of adhesive. Then we're going to skip one. So one here, and skip another one. One here, skip another one, and one here. This is what your piece should look like. And we're going to do the same to the next one. Make sure it's 3 mountains hanging out. 1 and 2. Skip one. 1. Skip one. Skip. And the last one there. Okay, so just take a moment, make sure they're kind of looking like that. Okay, the last step is these 4 little panels. So put one of these aside. We will come back to it in a minute. We're going to start on this right hand side, and we're going to take off the adhesive for this panel, or this little strip. You need 4 of these. Remember, they are measuring 3 1/16 by 2 7/8. So make sure that you're using the 3 1/16 height, because if you line this up here, that works. But if I turn it here, do you see it's short? It's too short. So make sure these are the same height. We're going to go not on top of the score line, but just right beside it. Okay, there's one. Now we'll take off the next strip. And once again, go right beside that score line. Try to make sure it's about the same length on the, what am I trying to say? The top and the bottom? Like, just line up those papers if you can a little bit. It's only attaching though to this piece. We're doing all 4 of them just like this. One more right here. You'll note right now this extra piece, and that is perfect. That's exactly what you should have left. We're going to take that off and fold it over to just reinforce this side. It's going to give a little bit more stability. Now we're going to turn this over completely so you could see this weird accordion here and just one of your panels. We're going to bring this guy down and flip it so that those two strips of adhesive are faced towards the right. Now we're going to basically work in reverse. So we're going to take the adhesive off of this left one and we're going to attach panel number 1. Here's the little panel guy. Panel number 1. Okay, when you get to panel 2, this is where you're going to have a little bit of fun because we need to actually fold this backwards. Oops. Hold on. What did I do? Oh, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Okay, hopefully none of you did that. If you did, we just have to unconnect these two, disconnect this. It's okay. Oh, we can disconnect this one. That'll be fine. Disconnect this. I'm going to start this way. Okay, I have to put one more piece. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not going to refilm the whole thing. It's okay. Mistakes happen, so we fix it. We just gently pulled that up. We'll reapply our adhesive. Here's where we need to start. Okay, so remember I was telling you to work on this side? Flip it over. We're working with this guy. We're working with this guy connecting here to start. That's what we should be doing. If you want to, you can also work from the back here, and that might make your life a little easier. So let's do that one. I'm just thinking of a different way to do this, okay? We're going to do this back panel. Take off strip number 1. Connect the back panel. This will just be less stressful, I think, to everyone. Okay, there's the back one. Now we're going to take off the next adhesive piece. You can kind of fold this up so it's got a little pop to it. The other side should also be able to fold, and then just work this one across that gap. It won't go right to the end, and that's okay, just as long as it's connected. Okay, working backwards, we've got the next one in the pile, so fold him over. Go. We're just kind of balancing things right now, making a pile of all our pieces. And last one. What you should have at the moment is something that's pretty solid with those. And then we're going to fold this one over once again, just to reinforce things. I apologize for that mistake, but nobody's perfect and it's okay. All right, adhesive on the back of this now. I'm going to put tape on here, and I'm going to put a little adhesive in here. You could use some glue, or I'm just going to do one diagonal piece of tape so that it stays attached as much as possible. Okay, so because these are equal, there's no top or bottom, it doesn't matter which one goes up or down. I found it easier to start by attaching this to the bottom kind of freestanding piece, and I'm going to set it just right beside for a sec. You can see it's almost the same size, so you can just take this edge here and line it up right to that bottom section of this piece. It's not really going to have a border as long as the squares are about the same. That's what you got. If you have your bone folder handy, just stick it in this gap and kind of press down. It will attach, that tape to your box base to make it a little bit more secure. And now we're going to put some adhesive on this other piece and finish connecting it to the back of the box. 3. Okay, so this one, instead of like trying to attach it perfectly, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently kind of close this, touch to the back, and close my box up. I just want to look first before actually pressing to make sure the box is lined up. I don't have anything sticking out or any mistakes. Then I'm going to just gently tap that adhesive together. You can open the box and once again just stick your bone folder in to really solidify that connection. But there you go. There is your little box. You can stick some tea bags in there and gift this to somebody. If you want to decorate it, you could add a sentiment to the front, or I just grabbed the second smallest stylish shapes die and one of these adorable little coffee mugs from this set. There's a few here. There's a tea bag. There's a green cup somewhere right up here. So in this package, there are actually 2 sheets of the decals, 2 identical sets of them. So lots of decals to go around, or you can fussy cut something. And I just popped that up in the bottom right hand corner there. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please give this video a like, and then afterwards, please go and watch Julie, Jody, and Lisa's videos and show them some support as well. We really love crafting for you guys, but I think we only have maybe 1 week left. Let me check my calendar right now. We are only going to November 20th, I believe. And that's going to be sad, but that's going to be the end of season 6. And don't worry, we'll be back for season 7 at some point too. But we love crafting with you guys. So say hi, come craft with us. Make sure to check out our pages because maybe we'll show you some fun stuff. Bye, guys.